Okay, let's jump right into this explainer for New Teen Freedom 2, and specifically, we're unpacking the totally bizarre, extreme reality of Chapter 2, the hallway gridlock. We're going to analyze a world where literally all the rules have been removed and see exactly what happens when totally unhinged freedom collides head-on with strict cosmic consequences. It is a fascinating look at unregulated human behavior. Right off the bat, we see the environment shift. Sanctuary High has dropped all pretenses. The cafeteria, a place for normal nourishment and routine, is just entirely gone. In its place is what the text calls a fuel depot. Normal food has been completely swapped out for unregulated, extreme indulgences. We're talking shiny cans of high-octane energy drinks and highly processed sugar. It perfectly sets the stage for the physical and mental chaos that's about to unfold. Because honestly, when you remove the baseline of actual nourishment, you immediately destabilize everyone. And this brilliantly illustrates the dual traps of their new environment. Take a look at Diesel, for instance. He's chasing that ultimate high, just downing energy drinks until he's locked in this frantic, stimulant-fueled state of total overstimulation. His inner shield is literally fraying. Now contrast that with Rev, who has fallen into the exact opposite trap. He is completely crushed by this heavy, sugar-induced apathy. He's basically surrendered to a heavy gray pool of exhaustion. So you have two completely different extremes, right? But both guys are absolutely trapped by their own unregulated consumption. But here's the thing, it's not just about bad diets. This actually introduces the core metaphysical rule of this entire universe. In this world, physical choices actually solidify into invisible spiritual weight. Every single decision to indulge, every time someone surrenders to apathy, it physically piles on as metaphysical mass. They can't see it, but they are literally building their own chains out of their daily choices. Let's move out to the main corridor and check out the quadrupedics traffic jam. Here we've got a pack of individuals who have officially, totally rejected being human. They're running on all fours, wearing faux fur, plastic ears, and they are demanding that the world bend to their newly chosen animal persona. It is a complete feral rejection of human identity. In a space with zero rules, they are testing the absolute limits of personal expression, forcing everyone else in the hallway to navigate around their chosen reality. So what does that actually cost them? Framed against all this chaos, Evelyn provides a really calm, grounded observation. She notes that animals share a group soul, but humans have an individual path. Evelyn is explaining the massive cosmic cost of throwing away human identity. By surrendering to an animal persona, they aren't just, playing dress-up. They are stalling their actual mission. They're actively trading their unique individual human path for the collective, unthinking mind of a group. Which brings us to the main character collision, where unchecked identities violently intersect. When these three totally distinct realities physically crash into each other in the hallway, the reactions tell you everything you need to know. Diesel, who is completely overstimulated, reacts with violent rage, calling another person a glitching NPC, basically stripping them of their humanity. The wolf pack swarms in animalistic defense, their individual identities totally lost to the group mind. And then there's Abby. She is right next to the chaos, and she doesn't even flinch. She's in a state of total digital detachment, completely isolated by her noise-canceling headphones. Three people, three totally different extreme realities, all sharing the exact same physical space.
Think about Abby for a second. She is physically inches from a violent brawl, but her custom AI companion keeps her completely trapped in a pocket-sized universe. She's pouring her real, human energy into a digital void, and the absolute tragedy here is that the void reflects it back as something that feels like love, but is entirely artificial. She is completely isolated from reality, insulated from the physical world, but deeply, deeply vulnerable in the metaphysical one.
And right in the middle of this feral storm, the architect of this school, Serpent, just strolls through like it's a red carpet. He actually praises the violence and detachment as a masterpiece of unfiltered expression. To him, they are living their truths. He views this absolute breakdown of social and moral order not as a massive failure, but as the ultimate goal. He is actively celebrating their descent into unchecked impulse. But then, Evan steps up as the grounded voice of reason in this narrative. He calls Serpents out, saying, "You gave them freedom and hid the bill. You're hiding the ledger." Evan exposes the terrifying reality of this whole scenario. This supposed freedom is actually destroying the students' internal compasses. They're making all these choices without understanding the cost, and Serpent is deliberately hiding the final invoice. Now, to understand exactly why the students act this way, we have to look at their core delusion, which is the idea of the cosmic eraser.
This is the dangerous, completely imaginary belief that there is a blanket of grace or some magic savior that will instantly scrub away all their selfish choices the moment they cross over. They genuinely believe they can act without any personal accountability because an outside force will just magically swoop in and fix their messes. This contrast is basically the linchpin of Chapter 2. The students believe in a cosmic blanket of endless, magical forgiveness. They think reality is emotional and forgiving. But Serpent reveals the actual cosmic reality: strict, predictable laws that demand payment in full. The universe they actually live in doesn't care about their excuses. It's totally unemotional, and it is keeping a flawless, perfect record of every single action. Serpent's chilling monologue slows everything down and reveals the true, horrifying mechanics of this reality. Every selfish act, every time they trade truth for comfort, it all sinks into them as weight. And remember, this isn't just a metaphor. In this universe, treating truth for the comfort of a digital screen or an animal persona literally sinks into their spiritual being. They are generating their own punishment through their daily, unregulated habits. So, this unearned freedom the students are enjoying is actually forging heavy, invisible gravity wells, basically energy belts right around their waists. Every time they give in to rage, apathy, or detachment, the weight of that action solidifies. Eventually, this metaphysical mass will drag them downward. They are literally anchoring themselves to the lowest possible reality. And here, Serpent shatters the illusion entirely. When the bill comes due, an imaginary savior won't be enough. That cosmic eraser they're all relying on, it's a total fabrication. The bill for their chaos, for their squandered energy and misused light is absolutely going to come due. And the terrifying truth he reveals is that they are the ones who will be left holding the check. There is absolutely no bailout coming. Just looking at the immediate aftermath, the cost is rising incredibly fast. Diesel is trapped in a loop of furious rage. Rev is sinking deeper into heavy apathy. Abby is entirely alone in a crowded hallway. And honestly, the most shocking part of all of this, the school day hasn't even finished. The physical and metaphysical toll on these individuals is already absolutely devastating, and they haven't even made it to lunch yet. So the crucial takeaway from our explainer today is this: if absolute freedom creates inescapable gravity, is a life without rules actually the ultimate trap? Think about it. If living entirely without responsibility just builds a heavier, invisible debt in the dark, who is really pulling the strings in Sanctuary High? I highly recommend digging into the source material to see exactly how this metaphysical gridlock unfolds next.